China, being chosen for the system is honorable. For the children, it's one of the best places to grow up. The path to honor and success in this country is long, and the system pays to train its athletes. They are now, and always have been, professional gymnasts. In America, the amateur system gave way to the subsidized athlete in 1988. The first step, a small stipend for training.
You're talking about being the best in the world. To work, 6, 7, 8 hours a day, you have to have some sort of income to do that, because you can't get a job.
This year at the National Championships, the higher you finish, the more you'll earn.
Money has become an incentive. I mean, I would like to be a gymnast as long as I could, if I could get paid doing it.
Now that the top gymnasts are being paid, they can compete longer. They don't need to leave the sport before their bodies peak. This can be their career.
I'm 26 and I'm sticking around, and it's not just because money or whatever, although that makes it 10 times easier than it would have otherwise. I think people can't do gymnastics in particular just for money, but it's definitely going to keep people interested in it longer, and I think it's going to help our team. Having older guys stay around, it's just, I think that experience will help our program.
And Steve McCain at 23 years old, hanging around and getting a stipend for training, but approaching the sport with renewed enthusiasm after that trip to Africa after failing to make the U.S. Olympic team last summer. He is getting ready for his vault as the U.S. team moves to that apparatus.
And Tom, the U.S. have a tough act to follow. Remember, Romania just came off of this event. They posted some high scores, performed some very difficult vaults, and Steve is actually planning to do his one and only vault at start valued out of a 9.6.
It's a Yurchenko style. He'll do a round off onto the board, 1.5 twists off. Very nicely done. Same step that we saw from all the Romanians, however. But as Elfie pointed out, this starts from 2/10 lower than many of the vaults we saw the Romanians perform. Here's that half turn onto the board. Leaves the horse, 1.5 twists, and a 2/10 step forward.
And Steve's score, 9.350. And you see just behind him, 16-year-old Jason Gatson taking his place at the end of the vault runway.
This is a great vault. He's the only athlete performing this in the competition. In my opinion, it's an undervalued vault. This only starts once again from a 9.6, but very, very difficult. And on top of the power that you need, it's a totally blind landing. Handspring laid out front. That's cool. Great vault.
And as you mentioned, Tim, the blind landing, you really have to know where your body is in the air on that particular style of vault because, boy, it can go either way.
So flipping forwards the entire way here, has to keep his body completely stretched in the air. Very nicely done, and oh, just the smallest little step on that landing.
And Jason with a 9.250.
Tom, you always are bound by the rules, the code of points. It's not valued out of a 10, only 9.6. That's why he got the score he got.
The Romanians now on parallel bars. Ion Culescu ready for his routine.
And this will be nowhere near as comfortable for the Romanians as their last event vault was. I said a little bit earlier, parallel bars, I feel, is probably the most difficult event to get those bonus points with these new rules.
We're certainly not going to see as great difficulty as we just saw from the Chinese athletes.
Once again, when the new rules come out, sometimes it takes an athlete a little bit of time to figure it all out. And they've actually gone a very conservative route on parallel bars. That routine starts at a 9.2. His last event, vault, remember, he was starting out of a 10.
And now Olympian John McCready, who trains at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs.
Well, the first two U.S. athletes started out of 9.6s. This vault for John is only out of a 9.4. That's maximum.
And a nice vault. You know, he can really do this vault in his sleep. I'm surprised. Took that step back on the landing.
Jan Kulescu on parallel bars, only an 8.55.
You know, that is interesting, Tom. He hits his parallel bar routine just about as well as he can do on vaulting. One event before, has a major mistake and scores a point higher.
His teammate Orzika now on parallel bars.
He has his own skill named after him. It'll come right here. This is absolutely beautiful. Full twisting dive roll. Oh,
that's nice.
Unfortunately, I'm getting all happy here, but this routine does not meet the rules even closely.
A lot of form deductions as well, Tim, with his own skill and some other difficult elements, but he's just giving away points with separated legs and steps on the landing.
And only a maximum score of 9.1.
Chinese are on high bar. Here's Chung Leong.
So didn't I say that parallel bars was the most difficult event to bring in that big score? The next most difficult event is high bar. You're going to see athletes trying to do some major releases right here. It's a Kovacs. Oh, that was amazing. One hand was not even on the bar. I tell you, we're kind of just hanging out here, and he was a scared hombre for a while there. That was radical.
Oh. Now, do we have to say it again? They've got the skills, they have the talent, but just can't put it all together.
Just shouldn't happen. Just shouldn't happen. He's too good, and that dismount is actually too easy for an athlete of his capabilities.
The Chinese and the Romanians struggling at the moment. Orzika only 8.7. Maybe the U.S. can move closer. That'll help McCready 9.15. Tom Hammond, Tim Daggett, Elfie Schlegel, Beth Ruyak again in Cincinnati. International team competition in gymnastics. The Chinese team at one time had the lead. They've been struggling lately. The U.S. trying to make up some ground. They're in third place. Here's Jay Thornton ready for his vault.
Jay will do a Yurchenko with 1.5 twists. His start value is 9.6. None of the U.S. athletes go higher than 9.6 on vaulting with their start value. Oh, he almost had that one. Nice vault, just a small hop. Looked like he was going to be the first athlete of the day to stick the vault.
From Romania, Christian Leric on parallel bars.
These guys have their work cut out for them. Remember, the first two athletes that went up posted scores of 8.55, 8.7. So we have yet to see a Romanian gymnast get a 9.0 on this event.
Well, it's a tough event to get a 9 on.
Same skill we've been seeing the Chinese perform all day long, but not done half as nicely.
Good landing, though. Still comes down to not getting deductions as well, and he maximized just a bit there.
And let's return to the high bar for China's Chen Zhenyu.
These guys, as I said earlier in the show, are all unknowns. We have never seen them before. They have very little international experience, and that's really been one of the problems of the Chinese athletes in the past, is they just can't put it together in international events. They may be able to do it at home, but bring them outside of their country and they fall to pieces.
Big release right here. This is a Kovacs. Nicely done. Dismount remaining. Nice dismount, double to, and you know, I think his knees went down there, and that's a big deduction if they actually hit the ground, and looked to me as they did.
Well, a moment ago, Jay Thornton of the U.S. on his vault was scored at 9.40.